So, you've all been reading a little bit. Any questions tonight? Yes.
I have three questions actually. One is philosophical and the other two not just simple. I just read a description of Subal Sakya, that he is golden in color and there's yellow and has blue eyes, the color of the blue lotus flower. So it made me think that maybe he's part of Radharani's family. Is he the son of one of Vrishabhanu's brothers?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I heard that he also has the same facial features as Radharani.
What made you think that he was? Because he was golden in color?
Yeah, with blue eyes.
Uh-huh.
And I also, in that pastime where he disguises himself as, or Radharani disguises herself as him because they have the same facial features.
Mm-hmm. Subal is one of the important paradigmatic figures in the Vraj Leela, and he is amongst Krishna's friends who are privy to or involved in, I should say, his romantic affairs to the extent that they are. He's the leader of them. And he looks like Radharani. His parents aren't described in Bhakti-rasamrita Sindhu or Rupa Goswami's Radha Krishna Gunadeshtipika like some other friends of Krishna's parents are. But some saints have envisioned the 12 principal cowherd boys, friends of Krishna and Balaram, Dwadasa Gopal and Astasaki, 8 principal gopis. 12 and 8 makes what?
20.
20, right? To be all part of the extended family of Radharani, whose father had, there was 5 of them, brothers. Rihabhanu, Vrishabhanu, Rihabhanu. This Bhanu and that Bhanu. There's like Nanda Maharaj and brothers, Nanda Maharaj, Upananda, Nandana, and Sunanda, and so forth. Nanda is the verbal Sanskrit root for the word bliss, or Nanda for joy. And Bhanu means light. So certainly from Radharani's side we get light. He sheds light on Krishna. He's beautiful, but in the light of his Shakti, then he shines that much more beautiful. So some of them have reasoned, I say, that all of those Dwadasa Gopals and 8 Sakis, they are all coming from the Bhanus, from Radharani's side. Rupa Goswami seems to differ a little bit, a couple of instances in Radha Krishna Gunadeshtipika. look where his Prema Bhakti Rasa sees Sudama in that light. I think Rupa Swami depicts him a little bit differently. Certainly Sridham is said everywhere to be the brother of Radharani. When Rupa Kumar, agreed by the Tamrita, became Sarupa, which is his Gopal name in Goloka, when he attained Vastu Siddhi, perfection, entered into Krishna Lila, he was referred to as by that name, Sarupa. And he describes himself in his experience meeting Krishna as hello. Shall I continue?
Yeah, I think we got
Meeting Krishna as Krishna's returning from cow herding with his friends and cows and so forth, and then being taken home to Krishna's house. I think he's slept over that night. And in the morning there's breakfast, and during the breakfast, Krishna tasted the Manohar Ladu prepared by Radharani, took a bite and then spit it out and threw it on the plate of Sarupa, who was sitting on his left side. And Sarupa was startled, and so was everybody else. And Nanda Maharaj turned, glanced towards Radharani. What's going on? What have you done? And Krishna told, this is fit for him, he should eat this. And so, not knowing so much what to do, I guess Sarupa just ate it, and it was delicious. And then he knew this was a joke. Krishna was playing a joke, pretending that he didn't like it. And everyone laughed, but also, in the context of this joke, then Sarupa could understand there was siksha being given by Krishna. That works on a higher level. And the siksha was, oh, I'm a member of Radharani's family. That's why I threw it on my plate. Said, you eat it. You're from her family, in other words. You eat the cookie, you eat this, I'll not eat this. I'm not from her family. She doesn't know how to cook. Something like that. So he understood it in that way. That way he knew where to go. To go that side. I guess he didn't get his Ekad house bomb beforehand. It wasn't all, all the details thought out there, played out. Not criticizing that. That's a way, but sometimes people make it as law. You have to have this 11, all 11. Some say 6, some say 7, some say none will lead the way. Kishore Babaji told Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, you realize you're Swarup in the syllables of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So therefore his emphasis on kirtan. It will bring about the purity of heart that enables us to meditate, and meditation come naturally and provide the details. So we find Sarupa or Gopakumar on that text. On the left side means same thing. Radharani is on the left side of Krishna. So these are the two, then, as I said before, main families of the Braj, the Banus and the Nandas, if you will. And so they are if you want to meditate on who your father is, you can think Nanda Maharaj, Vrishabhanu Maharaj, they're both fathers. It's said that any cowherd, male, coming from Nama's side, who comes to Vishwana's side, is welcomed in every house as if a family member. They've got a place to stay there. Maybe you should come to the side, something like that. Such is the nature of the relationship. So Subal comes from that side. Indeed, it's said by Raghunath Swami, who has given 108 names of Radharani in one of his writings. And in the names there, he mentions Subal Nyasta is one of the names of Radha. And the name means, if we play it out, it means who takes the form of Subal. The implication is to experience Sakyarasa fully. Radharani manifests in the form of Subal. Sattva Subal looks like Radharani.
So is he a manifestation of Radharani, like the gopis?
He's Shakti, but he's also one of the Dvadas Gopals. He's someone like Vrinda Devi. We don't know who her parents are. Special player. Not a Mongol prince and lawyer. But yes, we think of him as in this way, as a manifestation of Radha, but as a Gopal. We don't say he's Radha. He's a Gopal. He's you have Nanga Manjari is the Shakti manifestation of Balaram. You don't say the Balaram is Nanga Manjari, and they're the same. They're one, but they're different. The difference is worth taking note of also. Radha and Krishna are one. Right. For Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna had to become Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to experience Radha. Said that Radha and Krishna are one, and therefore there's no need for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because they're one. So every experience of Radha's is the experience of Krishna's. No. If that was the case, there would be no Lord Chaitanya. Then we wouldn't be here. Of course, Balaram is not trying to taste the experience of the Nanga Manjari. Nanga Manjari is tasting the experience of Krishna from a certain perspective, and Balaram is tasting the experience of Krishna from a certain perspective. Balaram is also tasting Sakyaras from another perspective as the object of love for other cowherds. But he's not the object of love of Anangamanjari. So it's just an important distinction. We say Subal is a manifestation of Radha. We say he's Subal, not Radha, but the connection should be noted, right? And he's very prominent in the Goswami's Leelas. So these certain boys, Mani Mangal, Ujjwal, Subal particularly, these are mentioned repeatedly in the Goswami's Leelas, all about Madhurya Rasa. They're always there. So they all have Sakyabhav, and while they themselves are group leaders in Sakya Rasa, they also have gopis who serve as female group leaders for them as well. And you may have a group leader amongst the cowherds in terms of Sakya Rasa, and Yuteshwar is the male and Yuteshwari is the female. Yuteshwar means, Yuta means group, Ishwar means leader. So Yuteshwar is a male group leader for Sakya-rasa, for example. Yuteshwari is a female group leader for Madhurya-rasa. Like Lita and Vishaka said, they're female group leaders, but they, rather than having their own group, they subordinate themselves to Radha as friends of hers. Now, Tripurari is another group leader. Radha has her group, right? So these Priyanarmasakas, like Subal and Ujjwal and so forth, they have some connection with group leaders like Alita, Manmohan, Vishaka, Ujjwal, and Radharani or Subal. They have kunjas along the banks of around Sham Kund. And so we have special meeting places there to get advices and bring messages and render various services and so forth. These boys have a desire to taste Sringarasa. It's been mentioned in Bhakti Rasamrita Bindu by Vishwanath Thakur, but it should not be misunderstood. They have a desire to have a romantic relationship with Krishna, like the gopis. When someone, and I've explained this before in the book as well, when someone in a particular rasa, like a cowherd boy in Sakya rasa, has a desire to taste or attraction to another rasa that's favorable, compatible rasa, then that Madhurya rasa serves as a stimulant for that cowherd's, in this example, Sakya rasa, to take it to new heights that Sakya rasa unto itself would not attain. So while Sakya rasa generally attains a height that's a step below Vatsalya rasa, these cowherds experience extends above and beyond the intimacy of Vatsalya rasa, and very close to the upper heights of experience within Madhurya rasa, up to Ruda Mahabhav. In the context of their Sakya rasa, it's very peculiar. So our window of opportunity then, that should also be understood with regard to the different types of Sakya rasa are there. With regard to the Priyanarmasakas, then you see who's mentioned in Goswami's Leelas. Who are they? Because there are all kinds of Priyanarmasakas. But these are the ones, these the Ujjwal, and Madhumala, Sri Subala, as I mentioned. We see that they're all connected with the group leaders who are in Radha's group. There's a verse in cited in Ujjwal Mani of how different Priyanarmasakas are bringing messages and from different gopis and so on and so forth. You see some of them are bringing from competitor groups of Radharani. So we see proper reading here. You see this opportunity that Goswamis are offering us in relation to this kind of, say, I don't want to be a Priyanarmasaka who's my group leader is, for example, is Chandravali or something like that. This would not be. So rather to follow the way of what the Goswamis are offering in terms of window of opportunity. So yeah, we think of Subal in this way, identified fully with the Radha side, and a manifestation of Radha for Leela. In fact, as I said before, and it's a mistake, I'd be correct here. Some people say, well, someone, Radharani is in Sakya rasa, she can taste Vatsalya rasa and Madhurya rasa because they're all included within Madhurya rasa. This is not how it's explained. having earth it's not like having air or fire. But Rupa Goswami is giving an example to help us understand the rasas. Just like earth contains all the, what do they call them?
Elements.
Yeah, well, the
Tanmatras.
tanmatras.
Yeah.
And thank you. And touch, smell, taste, sound, and sight. Earth contains them all. Water contains all of them except for smell. And if you go, fire contains all of them except for smell and taste. And they get lesser and lesser and you end up at ether and on the sound. And so using this example, Shantarasa is like that. And if you go all the way up, then Madhurya Rasa is like earth. But in explaining this, the tanmatras, if you will, of the rasas are different. There's two of them in Shantarasa. Detachment from the world is a characteristic of Shantarasa and attachment to Krishna. Then in Dasya you have those two and something more. In Sakya Rasa you have all of that and something more. And on you go. But while Madhurya Rasa, for example, may have attachment from Krishna, or attachment to Krishna, detachment from the world, service to Krishna, so on and so forth. The way that those are combined, so to speak, spelled out itself out as Madhurya Rasa, not as Sakya Rasa, but so these are all different. So you, just like you can't hold a lump of earth, you don't have fire. It may be there in some way, but you're not going to warm you can cook with just earth. Like that. You can warm the house, or you can warm if you inside the earth, but you're not going to cook with it. Is the idea. So, therefore, yes, Radharani may want to taste Sakyas, and then there's Subal. So, like this now, we don't have examples of this in all the rasas that we're doing that, but we have the statement of Raghunath Goswami, and we have the descriptions of him looking like Radha, and so on and so forth. And so the tradition has reasons, scripturally and spiritually, to arrive at such conclusions. It's a powerful, actually, pramana coming from Raghunath Goswami, and then we see in the Leela the exchanging. Sometimes Subal is like Radha. You say Radha in the toll. What's it called? The toll pastime. Dankeli. Dankeli, the play, the gay of the toll. So groupies are coming with milk products and Krishna says, you can't pass here without paying the toll. And so it begins, the discussions begin between the gopis and Krishna's friends, and they're chipping in and saying different things, and so forth. And I believe you find Radharani here desiring to experience the intimacy of Subal with Krishna. The fact that Krishna, Subal can walk hand in hand with Krishna, arm in arm in public, something like this. So that desire has to be fulfilled. It can't be fulfilled outwardly as a gopi, Madhurya Rasa. So there's a form that corresponds with her desire. Should we think it goes unfulfilled? You see, we have to have a reason like this. We can't. We don't hear her pining to experience Krishna like Mother Yashoda does. And those rasas also are not entirely compatible. They're not compatible with one another. Madhurya and Vatsalya, especially the Parakiya. Parents don't want, that's the last thing parents want is the kids to have Parakiya. Right? So, but a friend, on the other hand, may support you in that. Go for it. That's possible. So, but we find her with this desire. Only once is expressed. So we know there's a corresponding reality to that, and that you can sense it by what they look like. The Ragnatasas come out and set it in a beautiful way, by giving that is one of the names of Radha. So in this way, we can draw out these conclusions. Ragnatasas made a couple of nice composed a couple of really nice prayers, glorifying Subal, whose love flows like a fountain for Radharani. Very, very beautiful. And so through that form of Sakyara's unique close connection with Radha and her group. So the fact that he has a golden complexion, Radha has a golden complexion, well, he looks like Radha. So, and one of the colors of his dress is
Yellow.
Yellow. Complexion.
Yeah, golden. And blue eyes.
Blue-eyed Indian, that's rare, huh?
Yeah.
We have a Krishna Balaram that were purchased originally from Madhava, but came broken. Larger size. Arm was broken at Balaram. So we repaired it. It's not supposed to be used. We're going to run a kidnap them anyway. Painted Balaram's eyes blue. I said it's the only Balaram with blue eyes. It's possible.
No, Lakshava, the Krishna Balaram devotees, Krishna's eyes are blue.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Only mine.
It's the only place I've seen.
So what else?
Okay, my second question is Nadia in Vaikuntha somewhere?
Nadia is in Vrindavan. It's Gupta Vrindavan, so hidden Vrindavan. So inside the lotus of Vrindavan, the world, the center of the lotus of Golok is the Braj, Lila. And if you look there, you will see Krishna, and of course there is the Radha and Krishna. Now, if you keep looking at Radha and Krishna, keep looking, you'll turn to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And so therefore, in Prabhupada's painting of his first 3 volumes, the first canto of the Bhagavatam, he had an artist depict his vision, and there's a sky, if you will, and there's all these planets, Vaikuntha planets, different conceptions, right, of love of God, Indasirasa, Chandra's love for Vishnu, for Narayan, for Mama, this manifestation in another, right? The many worlds theory of Vaikuntha. And then in the center of all this is a big lotus, right? It's called Loka. Now if you look in that painting, you'll see there's a Mathura and a Dwarka also. Yeah, if you look carefully. And if you look more carefully, you'll see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doing kirtan also. So Navadvip is Nadia, the center, Braj. And inside of that is another lotus, is a secret of secrets, is the Gaur Lila. So, as we often said, the Gaur Lila is an extension of Krishna Lila. It cannot be Gaur Lila. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cannot be anybody else. He cannot be Vamana or Sringa or another avatar like them. Because why? Because none of them are privy to Lila Madhurya. Prema Madhurya. And Gopeni Madhuri, Rupa Madhuri. These are four qualities of Krishna that are not found in Narayan. Prema Madhurya means he's surrounded by devotees with this extraordinary prema, sweet prema, not prema Ishvarya, but prema Madhurya. So none of the forms of Narayan are surrounded by those kinds of devotees. Lila Madhurya. Yes, Varama has a Lila, Krishna has a Lila, but Krishna Lila is Madhurya. It's very sweet. Very sweet, very charming, very human-like, and so forth. So it's a quality particular, to him. Sringa is special. He's a manifestation of Krishna, but I'm saying all the Vaikuntha avatars, it's a little sweet. Tripurari is pretty sweet. But then the Braj Lila is the Mother Lila. So the desire to taste Madhurya from the Gopi's perspective, it's coming in Krishna. It's not going to come from anyone else. If they want to taste it, they get a chance to taste it when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes. Everybody in Vaikuntha, all the gods in Vaikuntha get a chance to taste something about that in relation to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's extending it and distributing it, from whom it's overflowing in the context of his own experience of that. So Gaur has to be Krishna. Krishna desiring to taste the Prema Madhurya. It has to be Krishna trying to think. Krishna would think of it. Even. Therefore, and Krishna's coming to the world as Mahaprabhu and teaching people about it to try to pay back his debt to the gopis. Right? In Rasalila, he finds himself, his capacity to reciprocate exhausted. And he says, your saintliness is your reward. To repay you, I'll have to be a saint. And once in every day of Brahma, appear as a saint and preach your glories in such a way that the world will know, Vaikuntha will know about it. Something very special is happening. It's called Mahavaikuntha. So even in Vaikuntha, it's pretty much not known. Some partial manifestation of it is there in Vaikuntha, when Narayan shows the Janmashtami Leela. Of course, it's not entirely like the partial, therefore Gopakumar couldn't be satisfied with that alone. So Navadvip is as much, and point I made, as much as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gaur is Krishna, is above Navadvip is Vrindavan. It's just that things are turned around. Like I've given an example of the reverse jacket. Things are turned around. It's the exact same abode. It's the same extension of the same Leela. It's not a Leela of Narayan. So Navadvip is not in Vaikuntha. You won't find it there. It's unheard of there. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has a beautiful poem, Swapna Vilas, I think it's called, the Dream Leela. Tattvamasi. And Radharani has a dream, and she sees a golden Brahman, becomes attracted to him. Wakes from the dream and asks Krishna about it. And comes to the Upanishad conclusion, Tattvamasi, you are him. She says to Krishna, Tattvamasi, you are him. I got it. In a special way, and this is so it's another beautiful way of talking about it, of course. Yes, Navadvip is non-different from Vrindavan. What's bigger in Vrindavan? It is Vrindavan. Vrindavan kind of tweaked in a particular way, so to speak. Everything reversed. Krishna putting himself in the place of the lover rather than the object of love. And he becomes a special object of love by which one can attain the highest love. These examples. So, Navadvip is Vrindavan. What else?
Okay. Third question is, I was listening to a lecture where Pranada was asking you a question about that every jiva soul is exactly the same for all Tatasta, with the inclination to either be covered by Maya or by Swarup Shakti. So I guess I just wanted to know if my understanding of it was correct.
Yeah, the jivas are uniform, coming from Mahavishnu. One becomes many. That's the
It
idea.
would have to be, otherwise Krishna would be
Bias,
partial.
partial. So Mahavishnu becomes many, doesn't make one better than another. One different from another. Manifesting innumerable jivatmas. Of course, there's no beginning to any of this. We're driven to one beginnings, but why? I have no experience of beginning. Other people say I began, there wasn't that another time, but I have no experience of that. I only have experience of existing. You.
Yeah.
So that's why I bother with this origins idea. It's experience is the ultimate pramana, ultimate evidence that we go by. So I have no experience of not existing. I have experience of my existence always being troublesome to some extent. But that I have a sense of individual existence that's troublesome is in a way a indicator, a sign of an existence that is mine. It's not troublesome. Because, in other words, the ahankara is that which kind of distinguishes not only one individual from another. Ahankara is like two aspects. It's like I am is the one side, and ahankara and abhiman. Abhiman means I am, and the sense of kind of entitlement and to arrogate that something belongs to me. I have rights. Things are mine. So an I and mine, in one sense, I and mine. But the I and mine, while overall we describe it as problematic, the fact is also that Vishnu manifests the world out of joy, not to give anybody a problem. Yes, Narayan wants to be the savior and so forth. He manifests jivas. When Maya Shakti is there, he manifests the jivas. The ahankar is part of this matter that causes this individual identification and the world. It makes a divide between the objective world and the subjective experiencer. That's why out of ahankar, combined with sattva, rajas, and tamas, you get the different manifestations, according to Sankhya, of the world, the tanmatras, and the sense objects themselves, and so on. The active, the sense perceiving senses, the motor senses, and so forth. So ahankar and sattva, and you have, mind, ahankar and rajas, tamas, and you have the elements themselves. So this ahankar is kind of making the world, and the distinctions that we have between subjective and objective. And as much as it kind of defines us in a way, there's a sense of individuality that's problematic. It's in a way, from a really broad perspective, material energy is working to, she's just doing her part. Vishnu becomes many out of joy. His area of jurisdiction is that of Maya, who he doesn't get close to, but he manifests the jivas, and they, in relation to Maya, then they get, and she's trying to help them. Is that what I was saying? From a really broad perspective, she's trying to help them experience all they can be. And so even that's why you can make an argument when the jiva starts to identify itself and search for an authentic self, even an authentic psychological self, if you will, is moving in the direction of the real self. So the Abhiman kind of aspect has that side to it. So to have the psychological, authentic self is well, to know your boundaries and to come into balance. And this is, to use psychological terms, this is all coming to a sattvic sense of self. So you can't do, within matter, this ahankara and this abhiman, they're forming this self. So you can use the very thing that's often talked of in a pejorative sense, it's bad, it's attachment. Abhiman is a conceit, a sense of entitlement, and so forth. At the same time, without that, in one sense, there's no hint of individual self. Hint of individual self is problematic, hints at an individual self that's not problematic. And so trying to find my authentic self is part of the abhiman aspect of ahankara. Trying to find my authentic self, and there is one ultimately, and the more you come into balance, by that I mean sattva, the clearer the vision is, and ultimately, to use the Sankhya term, I am the Purush. We use the Gita term, I'm Paraprakriti. I'm Tatastha Shakti. I'm not matter at all. So it's a kind of a broad way of looking at it. Vishnu wants to become many, material energy wants to help. So from a homogeneous kind of condition within Susupti, within this mystic slumber world. Oh, careful.
Okay. Yeah. And go on knees.
Within the mystic yogic sleep of Mahavishnu, we call Susupti. Then he awakes to become many, and with his awakening, as exhalation, then one becomes many, and the many move from kind of homogeneity towards heterogeneity. As I said before, first taking the shape of the Brahma, Brahma, and then so forth, and the karma, and the ahankara, and first the subtle psyche is developed. So it's of course it has no beginning, happens again and again. There's no beginning to that. But in the broader material natures, also the servant of Bhagwan, Paramatma here. So the ahankara and abhiman, you can look at it in this way. It's trying out. It's problematic. So we need some extra help. But the very attempt to find an authentic self, what am I? That drive, that ahankara says you are an individual. And so, but each jiva is different in that their beginning has no beginning, and it's always got this psychic and physical that manifests and becomes unmanifest, and those are differences. But those differences are superficial. They're superficial. When we take them off, then the jivas are all equally vibrant, equally free units of will that can make a wish and go over the rainbow. That's what they can do with a little help. You need a balloon, So It's before your time,
But not
but
for me.
it's a perennial, you know. So make a wish, and so if we make a wish in relation to Swarup Shakti, it will come true. Nama Chintami Swarup. Bhaktivinoda Thakur referred to the holy name as Chintamani Swarup. Based on the influence of bhakti, chant Hare Nam, make a wish, and become something like that. So each one has equal opportunity to do that. And each one is equal, but that may sound like you're not an individual, but you have to understand it properly because each is an individual unit that has equally the same components. Yeah, but the nature of the components is that they're alive. So, for example, we say it's a unit of will. And will is unpredictable. So each one is unpredictable in that sense, and potentially different, although one. And that difference will come out in relation to the environment. So it comes out in relation to the material environment with the pseudo personality and so on and so forth. That's what we need to move, away from, as I'm saying. And when that personality is formed and expressed in relation to just like each guy boyfriend of Krishna's is different. Each one thinks Krishna loves him the most, and each one is right. And that's beautiful. Right? That's the beauty of Sakya Rasa. In Madhurya Rasa, I think Krishna doesn't love him. I'm not sure. That's exciting too. And that causes for another, for a confirmation every now and then, new height. But Sakya Rasa, they're all pretty sure of themselves. That's the nature of the Sakya Rasa. It's full of confidence. Confident about their relationship with Krishna. No doubts. Krishna's my friend. And he loves me most, and they're all right. That's Sanatana Swami's beautiful statement. So yeah, that's how. And Paramatma, of course, is this equal. He's unbiased. Ram is going to be biased towards Ram Bhaktas. Krishna is going to be biased towards Krishna Bhaktas. So there's a bias in the spiritual world. It's beautiful. So Bhakti has a bias. When the Vedanta Sutra, when the question is raised in the sutras, God must be biased or partial because some people are better off than others. And of course, the sutra answers, no, that's not God, that's karma. You plugged into the material machine, it responded. And that's justice. And God is just, so he doesn't interfere with Maya. You say, why doesn't he interfere with Maya? Well, he has a relationship with all of the Shaktis, and the relationship has to be appropriate relative to who they are and what they do. So if he's to entirely override Maya Shakti, then she has no function. So her function is, as I said, in a broad way, trying to help the jivas, but it's problematic. So she's also the kind of the just response. You do this, the Bible says, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Now, that's a good story because there's more to that. I was told, I think, Brindani told me she looked that up in the next few words, play that out in a way that's interesting. I think it turns in the direction of some Gaudiya perspective. But at any rate, you take from the environment and you owe. Right? So God doesn't interfere with Maya Shakti. That's like, that's between the two of you, he says, between Jiva and Maya. That's you guys, you do that. I work that out. Then the sutras ask, well, you say it's because of karma, but then what happened at the beginning when karma started? if they were all equal, one must have started off unequally. And this is, of course, no, there is no beginning to the world. I mean, which means there's no beginning to karma, because there's no beginning to a world, material world, without karma. So there's no beginning of the world. You can't say, well, there's no beginning of the world, but there's beginning of karma. No, you can't say that. And you say, well, there's the beginning to each individual's karma, then, but not the world. You can't say that either, because somebody's got to be there in the beginning, right? There's got to be karma. If there's going to be karma, it has to be somebody's. You can't have a principle of karma, and it belongs to nobody. So there's no way around it. I mean, you can't say, well, it says the world has no beginning. Doesn't say karma does. You don't understand that. The world is karma. That's what the material world is. That's what's making it go around. Right? And the jiva has no beginning, and God has no beginning. And the term anadi is used for all of them. So when it's used for karma, you can't make up a new meaning now for that. So then, but then the scripture ends that adhikaran, that section, and a new adhikaran starts. It says, but what about the partiality of God towards his devotees? And the sutra says, well, that's not a fault. That's his greatest ornament. He's Bhakta-Vatsal. Well, he has many different ornaments and qualities, and this is the center of all of them. Because if he was not affectionate to his devotees, then there would be no impetus to be devoted to him. So that is another thing. Oh, that's another thing. That's under the influence of the Swarup Shakti. And he is under the influence of the Swarup Shakti. So he's partial towards the devotees. He's not partial towards those who are interacting with karma. That's between you two. Yeah. That's between you and Maya. You work that out. Just like people say, he's doing this, I said, that's between you. Ask me the philosophy. You gotta work that out. So the point is that Bhagavan is just. God must be just, right? But he must also be merciful, too. So he's just, and then he defers to karma. He's not involved there. And as we know, he's involved only with bhakti. And he's partial to his devotees because he's under the influence of his own Swarup Shakti that's manifesting in them. He moves under her, within her orbit, so to speak. Right? And so, with regard to his partiality to the devotees, they feel so partial towards him. And from their vantage point, as devotees of Bhagavan, then they are one of the qualities, secondary qualities, is their compassion. So as we know, they extend compassion to the ordinary people by trying to give them bhakti, and they have experiences of suffering with us, so it's easy for them to do on that account as well, but also because secondary quality of bhakti is compassion. Krishna has compassion in relation to the devotees. The devotees have a compassion in relation to Krishna, and they see everything in relation to Krishna. So Krishna's compassion, then, his mercy, is extended to those who are involved with karma through the devotees. And they intercede. That's called sadhusanga. What is the word used in the Bhagavatam? How Sudeva appeared out of Yadruchaya. How did he appear on the scene to answer the plight of the Raj Parikshit? Means that bhakti is moving beyond cause and effect, the law of karma. So it means it's causeless. It means it's not under mercy. It's not under the influence of cause and effect karma. It's compassion is not a cause. It's an overflow. It's not this. It's not you deserve this, therefore I should. It's like it's love. It's out of the fullness that it overflows. So the devotees are naturally compassion. They are the Kripa Shakti of Bhagavan. Kripa means mercy, so they are his Shakti of compassion and mercy, and they give it. And they, by giving, they intervene on this affair between the Jivas and Maya, Jiva Shakti and Maya Shakti, that divine intervention. And Sarvasanga, Sarvasanga, Sarvashastra, Sarvasanga, Sarvasiddhi Hoy. Just starts, just a fraction of that starts the course in another direction. Now there's another factor in your life. So just the karma is always there as a force in the world. Bhakti is always there in the world also. And if you're lucky, it's that, right, a good fortune to meet a devotee, then the course of your life has changed. Gradually, that accumulates, and we call it Bhakti Sanskar or Bhakti Sukriti. At a certain point, it starts to show itself as faith in Bhakti. Efficacy is Bhakti and so forth. So God is both just and merciful, both at the same time. Therefore, he has to refer to the karma. That Manisha has to do something, have some role to play. And it's, even we try to look at it as in a positive way, it's problematic. Even if you look at it as a negative way, she gives negative impetus. The ahankar and problem of Iman is well, just that. I'm an individual, but my individual existence is problematic. And so, but I want a real, authentic, happy self. So negative impetus is useful. Right? The positive impetus is there from the devotees. The negative impetus is there from Maya Shakti yourself. You could learn some lessons just by, hey, I don't put my hand in a fire or burn, I'm going to do it again. So we do something, we get burned again and again. It's hard though, because we have a tendency for it. You can see there are things you just do, and you're doing it, but you do it. And these are material samskaras. And it's difficult to change. Difficult to change. Habits form in youth. Difficult to, overcome. But Bhakti is a powerful force, so you can correct some. Without Bhakti, improve your situation. People say you only have the choice to choose Bhakti or Maya. That's not like that. There's choices within Bhakti also. There's choices within matter also. Or otherwise there would be no meaning to the Shastras, which tell you do this and don't do that. You have no choices. It's not that you just choose Maya and Maya just takes over. But the more you choose Maya, the more your choices are going to be reinforced, such that you, in a sense, tend to choose them again and again. And then the extent to which you have the will that can exercise it, because you exercise it in relation to material nature, and its nature is to obscure what you are. Whereas if you exercise your will in relation to bhakti, your effort, like someone was saying, you should give out free PDFs of the book. I said, we could print all the books. We had a wealthy congregation given out for free. That would be mercy, but then there would be no effort. So you need mercy and effort before you got to pay for the book. That's the effort. And then, as Prabhupada said, you'll read it. You'll think it's important. I made an effort for this. I paid for it. I should read it. Something like that. So if we make effort in relation to bhakti, the merciful opportunity of bhakti, and then what the influence of bhakti does is it doesn't obscure, but it illumines. And the fact that we're a unit of will becomes more and more manifest rather than less and less, more and more covered. And so now you're free soul. Therefore, the liberated soul is said to be Satya Sankalpa. Like Krishna. Because in the context of Leela Seva, then he only wants to please Krishna and leave it. But if he wants to give Krishna this or that, then Swarup Shakti is facilitating all of that. So the devotees in Madhurya Rasa, Sakya Rasa, they have different desires. They're fully persons in that sense, of will, with choices, and so on and so forth. But within an environment of within the parameters of the Swarup Shakti that is all working only for the pleasure of Krishna. So from the Abheda point of view, non-difference between Jiva, for example, and Bhagavan. Bhagavan has so many desires. He wants to taste, he's Rasaraj, and he does so through all liberated juice. From the Abheda perspective, because we say we're one and different, so we look at the different, the Veda perspective, difference. And so many jivas have so many desires, all of which are being under the influence and the parameters of Swarup Shakti for the pleasure of Krishna only. Coward boys wanted to taste the tal fruits. Do you study the language there out of praying, being able to taste them only for the pleasure of Krishna? So it's complicated in their own will, but it's only will to satisfy to be instrument for the will of Krishna, please Krishna. So again, you can look at it from the Veda point of view or the Abheda point of view. But the basic point, of course, is that Maya Shakti obscures and the Swarup Shakti illumines. It illumines the fact that you're of will. If it obscures the fact that you're using will, and people more or less become robots. And Prakriti Kriyamani Gunai Karmani Sarvasha. Ahankara Vinimati Kartamati. They think they're doing things, but actually it's just the functions of material nature. And they're identified with them, lost in that, like a virtual reality. So the idea is to stay very strongly under the influence of bhakti. There's a lot of work to do. To check the darkness and clear away the material samskaras. And in the context of that, you're creating bhakti samskaras at the same time. You're building yourself in a house in the local. You're developing a spiritual form. It's beautiful. You need a new t-shirt. I think that one can be washed any cleaner.
Favorite new t-shirts, yeah.
Yeah.
Some dirty stuff.
What's the time?
8:10.
8:10. What time's class start? 6:30? 7?
7.
Okay, so it's a good discussion, clear on that point.
Yes,
Yeah. So, when we say that all the jivas are equal, people say, you're not persons. I try to explain it. It's very beautiful, actually. You are very dynamic and have great potential in relation to bhakti. There's, as I say, in bhakti, there's a being and there's a becoming, eternal becoming. In Gyan, there's only being. Stop trying to become. Stop trying to become materially. You are Sat. You are real. You do exist. Don't try to stop trying to exist. You do exist. Stop trying to be pleasure. You are pleasure. You're never. But in bhakti, that being is also becoming. From Satchidananda to Sandini, Sambit, Ladini, and all the developments in bhakti rasa. And as Puja Pachi much put it well, in this school, you're all students forever. So there's an eternal becoming in the context of bhakti. Even while there are no origins and ends, there are beginnings or ends. Swarup Shakti is, that's what it does.
There's an end to karma.
End to karma. There's no end to bhakti's ways, if you will, pleasing Krishna. He's got a big imagination. His slumbers, Mahavishnu's daydreams, as Goloka. I think I'd like to do this. And here it is. Shri Gaurada Madhava ki jai. Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Premanande. Chitanam Bhavanam.
Thank you for coming to Tripurari.
Yes.